Hey guys, today we are going to go over the 21 cheat codes that I knew 21 years ago, and I want to share it with you in wholesaling now. My name is Rick Ginn, and today we are all about the experience factor. Call it my age, my wisdom, whatever it is. But I actually spent a lot of time on this, and I have come up in my 21 years of wholesaling, the 21 cheat codes. I swear, I wish I knew the day I started wholesaling. I learned these over 21 years. And I'm going to show you, as a brand new wholesaler or somebody who's just getting started out or someone who's even established, I promise you, if you can incorporate these 21 cheat codes into your wholesaling, you will catapult yourself above anybody else in this business. Trust me, I know a thing or two about this, and we need to do it. So today we're going to jump all in that. And also, when I'm done with this, if you guys want to hop on and do a one-on-one, I'll go ahead and put it out here in the beginning. That way I don't have to worry about it. If you want to do a one-on-one, then that is the place. Just click that link and let's work on a deal. Let's talk about wholesaling, whatever you want to do. Ask me a question. And also use the comments. Let me know what market you are in. Tell me what's going on. And if you got a question, if you don't want to come on live, then just type your question in there. I promise you other people have the exact same question. So let's get into it without further ado. Let's go through 21 years of wholesaling, the lessons I've learned, and let me give you the cheat sheet code. And I promise you this, if you can incorporate this into your wholesaling business, I guarantee nobody can stop you. But before I do that, do me a favor. If you are new here, go over to freewholesaling.com. This is a course me and my son have created. I know I say the word course. Here's the good news. It's 100% free. Not only will it teach you how to get your first deal, teach you how to get you your first $100,000. We have over 10,000 testimonials I've never asked for. I don't do what the gurus do. I don't beat people up, put a microphone in you, and hold you hostage to record it. People voluntarily give this up because they know how effective our course is. It's transparent. Most of the gurus copy and look at it. Honestly, if the more people I can help out, I'm fine with it. I'm very humbled with it. And it is the most successful wholesaling course out there. Go ahead and make sure you jump on that. So now, guys, these 21 cheat codes are in no specific order. They can't be, because not one oversees another one. They're all practical, and I want you to understand that. So let's jump into it. Number one, and this one I beat to death, so I put it at number one. It holds true today as the day I started. And full disclosure, I did not utilize this cheat code when I started. And you're like, where's he going with this? Lose your ego. So I want you to understand, your ego is your subconscious mind. And by the way, everybody is born with an ego. There's no way around it. I don't know why. I don't know what its original function is. I think its original function was kind of like an alpha male thing. It was a manipulation thing to perpetuate our species. And so if you understand it, in today's practicality, especially in wholesaling and in the human experiment of life, the ego actually is extremely counterproductive to anything you want to do. If you don't believe me, go through it. Your ego is your subconscious mind, ability to program your conscious mind to always be right, to make you feel important, to give you instant recognition, and to just kind of beat your chest and go, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And the problem with that is when you do it, you are throwing it in the face of everybody else in the world. And honestly, when you do it, number one, you can't listen to anybody's input or feedback or constructive criticism because you're too busy trying to be right. Number two, you alienate people. How? You make you seem like you're on such a pedestal and so perfect when other people are having challenges. And the ego always has to win at any cost. And if you understand that, it's easy to identify anyone who speaks from their ego. Don't believe me? Just check it out. If someone wants to be right, they will never listen to what you have. They'll get majorly defensive and they'll just keep pounding away until they get the result they desire, which is a win. Because of this reason, it means you can't learn. It means you're not humbled. And you are going to be an extinct wholesaler really quick because you think you know everything. I've been doing this 21 years plus. I'm telling you, I learn something new almost on a daily basis. I learned something new about wholesaling because the market's constantly changing. Change is a constant. And number two, I'm learning a lot about myself. You can't learn anything about yourself if you're stuck in your ego. So the biggest shift I did, and luckily I did this, unfortunately, after 5 years, is your ego will get you more competitors chasing you down and trying to crack your code. So just lose your ego. And it's the easiest way because egos have a way of attracting some really bad people coming after you because they're tired of you always being right. And this is how ego is the number one way how I find new markets I want to penetrate, especially virtual marketing. Why? Their ego is so big, they got to tell the world how great they are. If you want to look at one industry, it's got the biggest egos of them all. Just go to wholesaling gurus. Their egos surpass any product or any knowledge they have on it because they always have to be right. And the minute they're ever challenged, it's just a fight till the end. So guys, lose your ego. I'm telling you, it is everything. So, okay, let's keep going. We got a lot to go through. And I'm just going to give you the brutal truth. I don't care how bad this hurts your feelings. Some of you guys need this. And I'm using this as a tool because if somebody walked me through these 21, I probably would argue the first 15 just due to my ego. So that's why I kind of put it first. Okay, next. Stop asking advice from losers. Now, I use the word loser because I really couldn't find. If I just say stop asking advice from other people, just stop. So I know the word loser is a little bit much, but the reality is if somebody has not won in the wholesaling field, please don't go out on the internet and ask for an opinion. Unfortunately, the internet has created what we call keyboard warriors. These are people with no experience, that have no life, that spend their entire life trying to disrupt your mind. And they do a really good job at it. I don't listen to them, but I'm here to tell you, stop asking advice from losers. And guys, sometimes, here's the truth. Sometimes it is your parents. They've never bought a piece of real estate outside the house they bought their own, and then they're going to tell you how real estate works. That's what you call loser. It's just, if somebody has not won in a category, don't ask advice. If you're asking on how to increase your net worth by buying stocks, and the person has not increased their net worth and they don't have a nice big fat stock portfolio, stop asking them advice. It is, no matter what they give you, it's going to be wrong. It's going to be an opinion and it's going to be ego based. And if you follow this blueprint, you are doomed. So the rule number one is just stop seeking advice from these types of people. Everyone's got an opinion. If somebody works a 9-to-5 job and has never owned their own business, why would you ask for advice on how to be an entrepreneur from? I know this is common sense, but a lot of you guys are guilty asking your family, especially sitting around the holidays and Thanksgiving. I love my family to death. I would never, ever ask for financial advice from my family because I tried that. And for 12 years, I didn't get anywhere. The minute I started reaching out and following highly successful people that won in their category, it was painful, like getting used to like taking the advice, but they were correct. When I take advice from people that have never made it, they make it sound like, oh, here's all you got to do. If they have not done it, do not take advice from them. And for God's sakes, stop taking advice from the internet on people on the internet. The losers. Guys, there's a lot of people in the wholesaling space. I saw somebody with 2.5 months experience trying to teach you guys how to do wholesale deals. Wow. Unbelievable. Like, so there is no barriers to entry to come on YouTube and explain what you're doing. And you've got to understand this. I can't stress this enough. Stop asking for advice from places that don't do it. Okay. Now that's going to naturally lead into number three, which 90% of you fall victim to this. And I know this was one of my big crushing wake up calls. And I had to do it in my adult life because remember, I didn't start this journey until I was 33. You got to stop worrying what other people think. Like, end of story. I can't stress this enough because all that matters is what is important to you and what lights your fire and makes you passionate. Now, you're going to do your own diligence to make sure it's a good fit for you, make sure it's legal, it's ethical, and believe that you can accomplish it. But the minute you start to ask other people, which is human nature, you're going to get feedback that has nothing to do with your business. In fact, the feedback is going to be reflected on their own selfish interest. So let me give you an example. The first thing is I go, hey, Mom, I'm going to try. People do this all the time. Mom, I'm going to try out wholesaling. I found these guys, Rick and Zach, and it's like really exciting. They're making a ton of money, and they're becoming financially free, and they work out of their own home, and it's going to be serious work, but I believe I can do it. Rick's proven he's done 21 years, and I know real estate is the path to financial freedom, but since I don't have any money and I got a lot of time, wholesaling is going to be the perfect fit for me. Mom said, when I go, sounds like a scam. I wouldn't do it. You need to go and finish and get your college degree and get that good, safe job. That's what you need. Translation, Mom says, I want to protect you. That is the unknown. That makes me really uncomfortable. And I need to protect you to make sure nobody takes advantage of you. And I'd rather you play it safe than risk it all. That's it. She's just projecting her own selfish interest out of love. And it's not the worst thing in the world. But unless you want to follow your parents' exact same financial blueprint, if you do exactly what they did, you're going to get the exact outcome. And actually in 2024, it's going to be worse. So what I'm going to tell you is just stop worrying about what others think. If I'm telling you to do what 95% of the world will never do, why do you think 95? Then you guys think 95% of the world's going to agree with you, and they're not. In fact, your family is going to be the biggest uphill battle. And if you have a family or a spouse or parents, whatever, that support you and help you, you're way ahead of the curve. When I started wholesaling, honestly, I told everybody, and not that that's a mistake, but they were brutal to me. I mean, brutal. I can't even explain the stuff. They thought I was going to like take money from the family. They thought I was going to be begging for loans from everyone. They thought I was going to go financially bankrupt, and nobody believed in it. Actually, they thought I was absolutely nuts. And I let that mess with me the first couple of years I did wholesaling, and it held me back. If you add the internet, your friends, and all these other people, and God forbid you ask a realtor, why do you expect such positive feedback from people that don't understand what you're doing? They are fine being complacent in life. They have accepted they live in the matrix. If you want to break out of it, understand you're going to have to go completely against the norm. Think about this. When I did freewholesaling.com, what kind of, now I didn't ask what other people thought. I long learned this lesson. If I did, 9 out of 10 people would have told me you're absolutely nuts in what you're doing. Why would you give this information away for free when you can sell it for $10,000 for a student? In fact, I was approached by multiple coaches of the coach that we can make you millions overnight. And I go, no. I have a vision in my head. Me and Zach have a vision in our head. And it's not going to be easy off the bat, but I make my money wholesaling. So I'm going to do this as a venture to teach people how to do it, teach them how to do deals, and then eventually they will do JV deals with me. So I was thinking long-term, everybody wanted in my pockets to make money to help me out with a coaching program. I said, most coaching programs are a bust. People are frustrated, and there's a 95% failure ratio. I am not going down that path. So I didn't worry what other people thought because I knew exactly what they would say. I don't even bother asking. But I had a vision in my head. I had enough experience. I knew it worked. You guys know the end of that story worked out wonderfully. So stop worrying what others think It's none of your business. Stop. When you ask advice and you don't expect them to agree with you because it's foreign to them. And the more foreign it is, the tougher it is for them. We got to keep moving here. I got a lot of stuff to go over. Ready? Winners never, ever, ever make excuses. Period. I'm full admitting to you, I used to be an excuse train when I started out. It's because of this. It's because of that. This buyer burned me. The seller reneged on a contract. Oh, poor me. Why is it always me? And I remember an older gentleman grabbing me. He's like, dude, Rick, I don't want to hear one more excuse from you. Excuses just waste time. They make you a victim and you never get anything done. And you're looking to support your reasons why something failed. So why don't you work on the solution and just get rid of the excuse, and we'll just save a bunch of time. Because once an excuse is done, you eventually have to solve the problem. Now, if you have a problem, that's fine, but stop making the problem the excuse why you can't be successful in wholesaling. I'm sick of it. I will not let you spit it out. If you come on here in a live and you just go, I can't do it because of this, you're probably not cut out for wholesaling. Just save yourself the time and just get out. Sorry. The world is full of excuse makers, probably 90%. Listen, you can either make a million excuses or $1 million. You can't do both. Excuses just waste time, and it's a story you're trying to tell between your conscious and subconscious mind of why you can't be successful. So get rid of it. Who cares? We all have a million problems. I don't even think there's such thing as a valid excuse. Excuse is just a delay or an acceptance of why you can't get something done. So an excuse is going to fall right in the category of your ego, right? I can't be a successful wholesaler because my market's saturated. You have no verification of it. You just wing it. It sounded good in your mind. And this is a reason why I can tell Rick or Zach why I can't make it. Okay, I believe you. You have just killed your wholesaling career. Accept your excuse, be the victim. Let me go find someone who does not think like that, and I will make them successful in wholesaling. Do you see? If you constantly have an excuse, you can't solve the problem. You just whine. It's like, what do they call it? People start rumors, people that gossip is the word I'm looking for. So you have to move on. Guys, I have full-blown ADHD. I never really use this as an excuse, but I'm like, why does my mind operate differently? So I have to compensate in other areas to make things work. I don't go, well, I got ADHD. I can't wholesale. If anything, I tell you the guys the opposite. If you have ADHD, you are a great candidate for wholesaling if you gravitate towards this field. Why? Because, man, when you do something, you knock it out of the park. We just have to compartmentalize what you do. And if you understand that, sky's the limit on it. So, guys, I've never met anyone who's successful in anything. They all have the same common thread. They never make an excuse. So listen, if you are making excuses, number one, recognize it. And number two, you're going to have to work on a habit over 2 months to start eliminate your excuse and find solutions. And once you do that, finding out people like me, Zach, and highly successful people, we don't care about excuses. We just want to find a way to get to the top. You can always find an excuse. Find a solution. That is much harder to do, and it is extremely effective. Finding an excuse is just a time-wasting mechanism, and it is a form of using your ego to procrastinate and make yourself feel right there. Guess what? You're right. You can't wholesale because you think something's saturated. You got instant gratification, but you're going to have long-term pain, and this is the reason why you want to get rid of excuses. Okay, next one goes right along with these lines. So if you don't do excuses, this is the one trait that all great wholesalers have, and honestly, anyone who's successful in business. Fast, decisive decision-making. Now, I had a time in my life that I would weigh every damn option humanly possible. So somebody with ADHD, we tend to struggle with this. And I just you're never going to get every decision right. It doesn't mean you don't carefully weigh the consequences of what you're doing, but you have to go through a systematic process. Once you have the data and you've exhausted it, you have to make a decision. Now, if you're one of these people that go, I'm not going to make a decision because, or I'm just going to wait, the problem is your decisions stack up and you start to become highly ineffective because you can't make a decision. Nobody wants to work for someone that doesn't make a decision. And the reason why you don't want to make a decision because you don't want to get it wrong. You're never going to get 100% of your decisions right. Sorry, this is not grade school. You're not going to get 100% on your test. You are actually going to fail some of these miserably. But here's what you will get. You'll get a result. And that result will create a lesson for you and it will make you a better wholesaler. So when you don't make decisions, the problem is you have the school theory mentality, which is like government thinking, which is going to screw you. Remember, they're trying to create, warm bodies that will do everything they say and pay more taxes than any other country. Another story. Don't get me on that. See, you got ADHD, you get off pace with this. You have to make decisions. So when I have a decision to go this way or that way, I give myself a deadline and I make a decision. It doesn't mean you can't pivot or fix it or even change it. But making a decision is a trait amongst all successful wholesalers and business people. The people that don't want to make a decision, they want to get it perfectly right. The more decisions you make, the better you're going to become at something. And you know what? You're going to make some bad ones in there. I'm just going to throw it out there. God knows I have. But those bad decisions has taught me and given me a framework on when that situation comes up, what to do going in the future. And that's the big part of wholesaling, which I cannot emphasize to you enough. You need to make fast decisions. And when I say fast, it just means you need to make a decision. By not making a decision, it is 100% a decision to procrastinate, and you will never progress. The anxiety will just eat you alive, and you will never get where you need to go. You got to make decisions, guys. It's hard. I get it. And you feel like you're on the spot, but that's how life works. You've got to make a decision. Red pill, blue pill. You can't sit in the middle, because sitting in the middle, you're taking really the blue pill and you're not going to get anywhere. I'm talking matrix talk, aren't I? Anyways, you get it. Most people in this world just don't want to make a decision. That way they're not on the hook for anything. What kind of life is that? It's ridiculous. So you understand that one. Next one, right along this time, you got to protect your time. If you're one of these people that give your time away to everyone, you can't get anything done. Let me give you an example. I have times, we'll get to the next part on how to protect your time, which is number six. I would just take random phone calls and I would like family disrupt stuff. Or I'd let like a fishing buddy kind of go off, like why I had an important presentation and it just sidetracked me. This is part of my ADHD. And it got to the point where people said, listen, if you really want to get to the top, you're going to have to protect your time. I always thought I was being rude by telling people, I just can't meet with you. You got to go through my assistant to do this. To meet with me now, you got to go through 3 layers. It's not because I think I'm important or anything like that. I just have to prioritize my time. I have someone who overlooks my entire schedule and kicks me in the ass when I don't stay on schedule. I hire them just for this. So I am not helping my staff out. I am not helping my family, and I'm not doing the bigger and better picture to accomplish what I want by just taking random phone calls, by having ridiculous conversations. Now, does it mean I miss it? Dude, everyone likes to be a little distracted a little bit, but there comes a point where it can wreck your day. If you have a 30-minute conversation with an old friend, just set it aside at the end of the day or whatever you need to do. I get it. There's emergencies that stuff come in life, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get a call from a buddy or you get a fellow wholesaler. Hey, can you run this by me? Stop doing it because you think you're being polite, you're being helpful. You're disrespecting your company, your wholesale business, and your family by doing that because you're just giving your time away. And the more you give it away, the more they'll waste it. Now, once people know your time's valuable, they will get to the point and they will respect you more. Period. Guys, I'm not talking about your family. Do what you want on the weekends and like enjoy it, like whatever part in your life. But like there comes a day like Monday through Saturday, you got to get stuff done. And if you constantly just 20 minutes here, 30, it adds up 3 or 4 hours gets eaten up. And you want to know where the day goes, you gave it away. So protect your time. I respect more people that can get to the point and protect their time than someone who just gives it away. Because I got to wonder, what do you do that way you can just give your time away all day? Bottom line, if you don't value your time, other people will never value it for you. So you got to understand that. Next one, how do I protect my time? What's the easiest way to protect my time? Here's the easiest way. You have to schedule. And guys, for the first 4 years, I did not do this. I was guilty. I did everything right up here. Put in the comments right now or let me know. Do you schedule up in your head? If you do, you're not being effective. You go, well, Rick, I'm not that important. I don't care how important you are. You have to start scheduling stuff out. You got to start scheduling your training, schedule out your marketing, schedule out when you're going to do appointment times, everything. When are you going to work on yourself? When are you going to meditate? If not, this is how you sit in front of the TV and you lose 3 and 4 hours. This is how you guys start scrolling through your Instagram feeds. And it's all designed one thing, to occupy your mind, to tap into your dopamine. So know it, understand it. We talk about protecting our time and scheduling. One of the most valuable things, if you have an iPhone, it will tell you in the general settings how much time you spend on each website, how many hours. Mind-boggling. Use that as a beginning framework. Like, I waste 3 hours a day online. That's 3 hours you could have been learning wholesaling. That's 3 hours you could have been prospecting for motivated sellers. We just lose time. Guys, time flies by. Like we're on this earth like a blink of a second. So you need to schedule. I like 2-hour time blocks. Honestly, scheduling has never been easier past the old Franklin planner days. Those of you that are my age, we used to have to write everything down. Honestly, simple Google Calendar is probably the best thing you can do. It's on your phone. It's on your computer. Everything's scheduled. You can actually holler it into Siri and it will schedule stuff for you. Have a regiment and stick to it and understand what you have available that day and what you don't. And any personal interruptions, family stuff, push it to the end of the day or first thing in the morning. Get your business done. The only way you're going to get it done is you have to schedule it. Because guess what? If you don't schedule your time, other people are going to dictate your time and you're never going to accomplish what you want in life. And you're going to look back and go, crap, I should have scheduled like Rick said. Yeah, that's right. I hate it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big scheduler. I had to force this for the longest time. And honestly, I could not operate without a schedule right now because I would feel lost. So if you're not scheduling and this is hitting home hard, schedule it. Even if you don't have a lot going on, set it out. Go, okay, from 10 to 12, I'm prospecting today. From 2 to 4, I'm doing all my follow-ups. And from 4 to 7, I am just cold calling, whatever it is. And then you decide if you want to do a workout, if you want to do a meditation. I mean, whatever you want to do. Go on a date with your wife, your husband. I'm just telling you, if you plan stuff out, people will look around you and go, man, you got your stuff together. Like, people know people with schedules are going places. People without a schedule, they just don't value time. And if you don't value time, you can't get where you want in life. You have got to schedule. Okay, let's keep moving. I got to pick up the pace here. Next one. Oh, God. I fought this for a long time. Lean into being uncomfortable. So when you start out wholesaling, everyone's super excited. And the first time I tell you, go make 300 cold calls, and they're like, I don't know, Rick. That feels a little yucky. Guess what? It's exactly how it's going to feel. And that feeling you get, that uncomfortableness, well, you better start to embrace it. Because here's the big secret between people who get what they want and the people who just wallow around in life. The wallowing around ones, they're always comfortable. They never, ever push the boundaries until someone forces it on them and they have to make a wildly uncomfortable decision. You're going to do the opposite. You're going to lean into uncomfortable. And the minute you turn uncomfortable into comfortable, you're going to find a way to get uncomfortable again. See, most people in life avoid uncomfortable situations. Now, you're not risking your health. You're not being physically threatened. And I'm not telling you to sit in a sauna of 120 degrees. Are you going to have to do things that aren't the most popular and funnest? Yeah, absolutely. But that's how people get ahead in life. Nobody gets ahead sitting around doing nothing, surfing on the internet and trolling people. And like, oh, you can never do that. That's terrible. You see, there's people that actually do stuff, and there's people who just sit around and watch other people do stuff. So stop being an interactive playing a video game and go create your own game called wholesaling. And I'm telling you, when you get uncomfortable and you're like, "Hey, man, I don't know if I want to do this," go, Rick told me to lean into it. Just lean into it. Because once you lean into it, that's where all the awkwardness, it's only a small thin wall and it's in your mind. Once you punch through it, like, dude, it's a piece of cake. Like, no big deal. I never fear talking to a seller. My first probably 50 sellers was wildly uncomfortable for me, and I didn't like it. But I learned these uncomfortable conversations are what forged who I am today, and the reason why I make more money than 99 out of 100 people out of there. Why? Because I'm willing to do what most people won't do. So how do I do that? The minute I'm uncomfortable outside of my physical constraints, I don't want you to put your hand on heat, stuff like that. When I'm uncomfortable, I know I'm making progress. And you know that holds true in wholesaling, but like, let's talk about like yourself. If you want to lose weight, you're going to have to do some uncomfortable things. If you want to gain more muscle, you're going to have to push your muscles. It's uncomfortable. I squatted today for 30 minutes. I hate every minute of it. It makes me wildly uncomfortable. Why do I keep going back? Because I get stronger, I feel better, and I have more energy to interconnect with people just like you. So I look at the big picture. I look at the long term. So you've got to understand, to be uncomfortable is the ultimate growth. This is where everybody avoids. And once I lean into it, everything I want is just on the other side of uncomfortable. Once I know that, piece of cake. Okay. Now this next one's going to be a little controversial. You can hit it however you want. But you've got to understand this. And I pretty much live by this because you guys know me enough and you know I followed this rule to a T. Don't flex even if you can. Flex is also like if you had a bodybuilder and they wanted to kind of show off their biceps, that's flexing. It feels really good short term, makes you feel important. Once again, you're running towards your ego. You're making it all about you, and you are the center of attention. It's never the business. And flexing never goes well in the long run. Now, occasionally a flex is okay to prove a point, and I'm okay with that. But for the most part, here's the secret to flexing, okay? People who can flex usually show the constraint not to do it because the flexing is the end result. So the problem is the people that can't flex are the ones doing the most flexing because they're taught this on the internet. Don't believe me? Go on the internet. There is a reason I do not show my cars. I do not show my boats. I do not show the multiple houses. I do not show all my properties because how does that help you? I am humble enough to know where I came from and how I got there. If I have to constantly show you this stuff, it is mostly going to be I'm going to try to sell you something or a course grab or whatever it is. Why do you think there is endless 20-year-olds constantly flexing their Lambo? Here's my cars. The newest one is my collection of watches. By the way, I've learned watches can be knocked off so easily. Anyone who wants to flex a watch on you, tell them to put the receipt right next to it and you'll give them all the credit in the world. Even then, what's the point? I like watches because They appreciate the value. I don't show you my watch collection because it has nothing to do with real estate. My favorite is when somebody shows the same picture over and over, the same piece of real estate. I, past one or two, I guess if you really want to flex, show it once or twice, but move on with your life. Why do you keep showing the same piece of real estate over and over? Oh, it's because you leased it and you tell everybody you live in a $10, $20 million mansion. So you have to show it every day to get the value for the social media. It's ridiculous. Somebody wants to show a property, please flex the deed with me. Guys, this is running rampant. I've rented to people that have rented my places that do this, and it drives me nuts. Don't even get me started on the jets. Like like a jet is a big expense. If you're going to go lease a jet, I'm proud of you. God bless you. But please don't flex it like you own it. You see, these all have the same pattern. People that flex typically don't really have the muscle for it. It's fake. It's rented, it's leased, it's staged. They're nothing more than sprinters in wholesaling. And if you are considering of doing consulting or anything like that with people like that, understanding you are gravitating towards the wrong part. That part is not going to help you out at all. And if you're using that as a qualifier, you're even more of an idiot than I thought you were, because you got to understand the wealthiest people in the world, or the people that truly make it, number one, they always check their ego. And number two, they don't have to flash to attract good people. They have a great business. And people get attracted to the business. I'm fine with that. But if you want to be attracted to the end product, you're probably going to get disappointed. And then when you find out they don't even own the end product, how are you going to feel? This happens all the time. I fell victim for it when I first started. And I'm here to tell you, understanding a quality person that has a sound business, that's very good, they do not flex. Do they have the capability of flexing? 100%. You see, it takes a special person to keep stuff in reserve, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. Stuff is just stuff. I don't care about material possessions. I'm more interested in relationships with people. And if you understand this, if somebody is flexing and what I call over flexing, which means it's the same crap over and over every day, I gotta wonder what the hell you're doing. And for this reason, it's so easy to spot a scammer in this business. Just look, same piece of real estate over and over again. You keep showing me a jet. You keep showing me a custom car. Why don't you show me your business and the relationships you forward with it, and then maybe we can have a conversation. But the over flexor, it doesn't matter how much it is, it gets out of control. When Arnold Schwarzenegger was his most effective is when he just stood there proudly. He hated to flex past the competition because he thought he was bragging and it didn't help other people do it. So I want you to understand, people that have the ability to flex typically don't. People that flex a lot, they don't have the long-term resources to maintain it. And it's the art of deception. Look how good I am. Look how popular I am. It's 100% ego. And if you understand that, it's so easy to identify people that follow this. Go on the internet and search. I promise you, because you're on a wholesaling video, you are going to get flashed everything in the world. It's ridiculous, guys. At the end of the day, wealth is determined by how happy you are. Money is important. Don't get me wrong. But I'm here to tell you, flexers, it's so easy to figure them out. They always throw back. I'm moving into a $10 million mansion. I'm moving into a $20 million mansion. I would never spit out the price of the home I live in. Why? Who gives a crap? If I bought it for $5 million or $500,000, like what? How does that affect you? Oh, that's the mark if they're running a good business. Well, if you do that, you're going to fall in the same pattern that a lot of Americans fall in. And you want to keep up with the Jones. That way you're going to lease a really high-end Mercedes. Oh, I look important. I look wealthy. Oh, my kid's going to Duke. Did you hear the word Duke? Did you hear I said Duke? Okay, great. Go get your student loans. Do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do to look good. And I'm telling you, this is the same mentality when it comes to flexing. So now you guys understand it. Okay, next one, hardcore wholesaling rule. God knows I implemented this in year 2. And I've never looked back since then, and it's never served me wrong. It's the 10-minute comp rule. 10 minutes, that's it. If you spend more than 10 minutes comping a property, you are trying to justify why you're overpaying for it. If you understand this, you understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you don't understand this, you're probably not going to be a good wholesaler and just go right into the fix and flip. Why don't you just go do novations while you're at it? I'm just here to tell you, if you don't understand this, you are going to get killed in wholesaling. The longer you spend comping, the more you're going to try and justify your high price. If the comp says the property is worth 240 and you just wrote a contract for 280, it's trying to tell you you screwed up, fix it, get a price adjustment or get out of the contract. But so many of you guys want to hunt and hunt comps. Don't do this. 10-minute comp rule will never serve you wrong. Which leads me to my next one, which is, I love this saying. You ready? The calculators and wholesaling rule. And you guys know how this works. The reality is, if you have to use a calculator to figure out if a wholesaling deal is good, it's probably a bad deal. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the block, but like my best deals, I've never pulled the calculator out. Give you an example. I'm doing a property right now in the wonderful state of Texas. It comps at 600. I have it under contract at 340. It just needs a little bit of paint and appliances. Do you think I need a calculator to decide if I'm going to move forward with that deal? Once I verify the pictures and stuff, I'm all in. But some of you guys get these calculators, you get going on your phone, you're just like, if this happens, or like, oh, we cherry pick some comps, good luck. I'm just telling you, pure wholesaling never requires a calculator. Now, fix and flip 100% requires a calculator. Novations, well, it requires a calculator and your pseudo attorney type of deal because you're just manipulating paperwork. I can go on and on with this. The bottom line, guys, when you really do good wholesaling and you find a motivated seller, it should be a no-brainer. Now, do some of them get tight? Yes. But I'm just telling you, if you're breaking out a calculator too much in wholesaling, you're probably getting killed. It means you're marketing to the wrong type of sellers, people that want to sell their house versus people who need to sell their house. And you're just looking in the wrong areas. Try me out, guys. Try your best deals. I promise you, you do such quick math in your brain. It's so simple. I'm going to make a ton of money. Once you start calculating, it means you're getting down the last 10%. And there's a lot that can go wrong. And that probably means you're not following the fundamentals of wholesaling and you're trying to force a deal work. Don't force a deal to work. Listen, I know I'm not the best with math, but I know when a calculator is needed or not. And every time I get a calculator, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm sticking to my numbers. And when I do it, I either save myself a massive headache because the worst thing is when you put it under contract and you can't sell it to a cash buyer. To me, it's like the worst because you just worked for free and you wasted your time. And if you just held to your guns or you did more negotiating, you could have got a lower price. But you were in such a hurry to get a yes. Now it made it easy on the front end. What's easy on the front end is going to be brutally hard on the back end. So switch it around. Do the hard conversations up front. Use the go for no method. And I promise you, you will get less deals. But when you get them, you will have cash buyers lining up around the corner to buy your deals because they're deals. And if you have to sell your deal, you're probably not going to make it. So it's just a rule I've instituted. When we got to pull out a calculator, I have the same conversation with my staff. If you're sitting and do a calculation formula and you can't spit the numbers off to me, it probably answers your own question. It's not a deal. It's the truth. Try it out, guys. Let me know in the comments if you believe that. It's just the truth. Now, I'm not saying to use a calculator, do some basic math, but if like the numbers are super tight, heed the warning. That's what's happening. So the next one's going to be in relation to, what are we on? Number 11. Boy, I got to pick up the pace here quick. So I'm going to move a little bit faster. The next one is everyone's got an idea, right? There is no shortages of ideas in this world. Everybody in the comment section has an idea here. What we lack is execution. Execution over ideas it just destroys in wholesaling. So you can take my formula, Zach's formula. Heck, you can take any other wholesaler's formula, but I would be careful because most of them aren't wholesaling. They're speculating. If you will just execute, you will crush it. But more people are so interested in putting their own ideas. Let me try this. Let me try that. Be an executor. Execution rules in all business. We have so many thinkers, so many ideas. There's very few people that can execute. If you can learn to execute a wholesaling plan, you'll do just fine. But most people stall the execution and they just keep reworking the idea. And for that reason, they never make any money. So execution, guys, it is not the funnest part of the business, but it is where all the money is made. Some money's made in ideas, but I've seen really bad ideas with good execution. They still make money. Now, take the best idea in the world and give it a bad execution plan, or a person who can execute, doesn't matter what you do, it's going to suck. I know so many products in wholesaling where the idea is phenomenal, but the execution is terrible. And right now I see a lot of products that I think just suck, but their execution is pretty good and they still get people to pay them for it. Drives me crazy. I think what me and Zach did was a great idea and great execution, but at the end of the day, it is the execution that makes or breaks the business. The idea can always be refined. So keep that in mind. Okay, number 12. Probably one of my favorites. If I had to do a favorite saying, this would be it. And this is probably one of the best. If I just pull one piece of general advice other than lose your ego, this would be up there. So everyone's a talker in wholesaling. I'm the best. I'm the best. Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on, I'm here. My cord got disconnected. I'm here, hold on. Okay, I will talk while I wiggle wires. I don't know why that shut off on me. Well, listen to me while I talk and try to fix here. I'll bring this back online. So many people talk a great game, but they lack the execution of what we talk. So hold on, let me try to get me back on here. Let's see. Huh. Hold on, I'm still here. Okay, I'm going to pop this on and off real quick. Everybody stay there. I promise I'm coming back. I don't know why this is doing this, but this is the art. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna hop out and hop. Okay. Hold on, I'm still here. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay. You can tell my technical difficulties. So what I'm saying on this is people always talk so much. And think about this as a kid. After a while, when you went to your parents, go, can we please build that model car today, Dad? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. At the end of the day, either you build the model car or you don't. And if you don't understand that, like, you can separate who's going to help you and who's not going to help you. A lot of people lip service us. You've got to understand, if you always say you're going to do something, but you never actually do it, make sure you prioritize what people do over what people say. That's all you need to know about life. We're all guilty of over talking, but when you have to run your business effectively, I watch what people do I kind of ignore what they say. Anybody can say anything. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. No, show me what you did. Show me exactly what you're doing today. That's it. Anything else is a waste of time. If you understand this statement, it's just easy. If we took for granted what everybody said to us, we'd all have all our problems solved. But the reality is what people say and what they do, unfortunately, rarely match up. So you got to find the people that actually do what they say. In fact, Marcus Aurelius, one of my favorite people in the entire world, 2,000 years ago, back to the Greeks and the Romans, he says, become the man you want to become. Stop talking about him, just become him. In other words, if you want to lose weight, just do the steps that require it. Reduce your intake, increase your output, and just walk the walk. Period. Stop posting online. I've lost 10 pounds. 10 pounds is nothing. It's water, guys. It's like you just filled your ego's self-fulfilling proposition by doing that, and you're not going to get anywhere doing that. Just do it. Stop talking about it. Just freaking do it. This is my biggest gripe in wholesaling. Just do the work. Stop trying to get credit for the action. If you do the action long enough, you will get all the credit you need. Remember, you earn people's respect by doing stuff in the darkness all alone. That's where the real income in wholesaling is worth. But everybody wants instant credit. They want to go on the internet. Everyone's the greatest. In fact, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to get in trouble. So, guys, watch what people do over what they say. Kids are perfect to this. If your parents constantly tell you can't drink, and all your parents do is put it back all day, the kids ignore it. They're just going to drink anyways. You send the wrong message. If you tell your kids don't smoke, but you guys smoke, why would I give you any credibility? Same thing in the business world. I did X amount of properties. That's great. Can I see the HUDs for them? I can't share that information. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you don't do it then. What people do is much more important than what they say. God knows if I instituted this rule from day one, it would save me a lot of aggravation. So, okay, let's keep moving here. Wholesaling, it's all about risk assessment, guys. The reason you gravitate towards wholesaling is to minimize your risk, maximize your reward. If you have a potential for a huge payday, but your risk goes up a little bit, you have to weigh the odds on it. Let me give you an example. If I'm starting out as a new wholesaler and I can't get the deal to work, but I found a cash buyer that'll pay for it, I'm only going to earn a measly $1,500, but I have zero risk and I'm struggling to pay my rent. I can't put food on the table and my FP&L bill's 3 months behind. Take the $1,500. It has to fit the situation. Now, someone like me, I take some wild risk. Why? Because I can afford to. I recently took a risk for $300,000 for what I thought was a minimal investment. Let's just say under 70 grand. And if it works out, I'm fine with it. If I lose, I'm still fine. I'll make it's not a big deal. I once took a massive risk for money I didn't have and it blew up on me and it hurt me bad. And I'm telling you, risk reward. If you can make some money with absolutely no risk, it's what we call an infinite return. It's smart. If you can learn that skill set in small increments, when the big ones come, you'll hit it out of the park. But guys, do you know how many deals I've done where I've made over 100 grand, where I've put less than 10 bucks into a deal? To me, that is the ultimate skill set, the ultimate compliment, and is the ultimate dopamine rush you can get in life. There's no drugs involved, no pain. It just, if you think about it in your head, like that is incredible. And anybody looking to get an ROI would love to jump in on that one. So risk assessment is all about wholesaling. And you've got to understand that. And I want you to understand this. Okay, I'll go over that. Let's jump into number 14 quick. Become broke every day. These are, now, if you're just starting out wholesaling, you're probably already broke anyways, or like you're just figuring out. That's fine. But like right now, every week, here's what I do. I take whatever's cash is in our accounts and I move it out. And I tell everybody in my company, we are broke. I am desperate for a deal. Let's go. Why? Because if you act like you're broke every day, you create a different urgency level and the complacency is gone. I act like I just started wholesaling every week. Hey, there's no money. We've got to go. We just had expenses. Let's roll. Act like you're broke every day. So if you get a $50,000 wholesale deal, celebrate, have a great time, take that money, pull it out, put it in a money market somewhere where you're going to get like 5% interest rate. Guys, it's easy in this market, and go back to work. So many of you get complacent when you earn money. Take it away from you, put it towards your future, put it away, pay some bills, but set it aside and move on. End of story, guys. And then in the future, you can buy assets that will pay you and get you financially free. You see, if you guys just keep spending on all the toys and stuff, which I'm not going over today, you're destined to be broke the rest of your life. That's what the marketplace depends on. Next one. It's called sacrifice. I don't hold this back from anyone. 2 years. If you will sacrifice 2 years and live well below your means and master wholesaling and get 10, 20, $30,000 paydays on a regular basis every month, you can easily get to six figures. It took me a long time to get six-figure paydays consistently, but like right now, 100 grand would be a light month for my company. That's only one company. I have multiple companies. Did I do this overnight? I've been doing this 21 years and I'm teaching you the lessons that got me there. I first go, listen, if I could just put 10 grand in a bank account, and then I started adding more zeros. If I could put 100 grand in, if I could put $1 million in an account, can we do 2 million? I don't let 2 million sit in cash. I buy assets, guys. Why? Because they appreciate, they do cash flow, and I get tax write-offs for them. And that's what you're going to do. So what was the secret? Once I lived well below my means for 2 years, so what's living below your means? I didn't take a vacation. I never went out to eat. I didn't buy like fancy cars. I didn't buy boats. That's it. Soak up the cash, let it build, and build the bank account like it's a phone number. If you try to do it the other way and you spend it as fast as you make it, you will have to wholesale the rest of your life and you're going to burn out. So fix it. Sacrifice 2 years, guys. That's all. 2 years goes by so fast. 24 months, it's easy to do. Relationships over transactions. If you want to learn how this, go over to freewholesaling.com. I teach you how to have relationships with people versus just doing transactions. It is critical in wholesaling. If you want to be transactions, go be a realtor because that's all they do. They don't really do relationships. 17, just took me a long time because I got ADHD. Learn to be grateful for what you have. I still this day, I go, man, if I could just get this, if I could get a CFO, if I could get 2 CEOs to take over these companies, I look back, I go, did I ever think I could get to the position where I can hire employees and pay them a 6-figure salary on a consistent basis? So sometimes I have to pinch myself. This is an ADHD flaw. We're always pushing and we're never you just can never be happy with what you have. So I have to purposely sit down, and the best way to do is take a journal and just write down what you're grateful is best in the morning, and it sets the tone for your day. If you're grateful for what you have, then you can be happy. But if you're always chasing gratefulness in the future, you can't be happy. So the key to being happy is being grateful for what you have today and right now, your family, the roof over your head, the wonderful weather, talking to Rick, I don't know, stuff like that. That's a true way to do it. And it is an art form you have to learn. So next one, you guys hear this all the time. I'm going to teach you how to run a marathon, not to be a sprinter. A marathon, think about a marathon runner. They don't take shortcuts. They don't have a course. Go, let me show you how to cut your marathon time in half. They're okay looking like crap sometimes, just beat up, run down. Everybody starts somewhere. A sprinter always wants to look good. They got the nicest shoes on. They always have to do a quick video of how good they look. Sprinters can never run a marathon. They're not built for it. They don't think like a marathon runner, and they don't train for it. What's a marathon wholesaler? I don't know. Someone that might have done it 21 years. Guys, I'm telling you, the sprinters, 85, probably 90% of the wholesalers I meet at some point or other, they're sprinters. Why? Because they never last. Do you know how many renditions I've gone through of gurus and wholesaling? It's unbelievable. A few survived. I've never seen one survive 20 years plus. I like to actively go on the internet and say, hey, this is what I did. And honestly, I do it because I'm humbled. I've lost my ego. And honestly, I know exactly what it feels like where you start. I recently started my son and I start a lot of you guys. So what I'm telling you is train wholesaling like a marathon. You're just going to have to keep working on your personal best time every day. And stop looking at everyone to the left and the right of you because they're sprinters. And if you try to gauge your wholesaling based on a sprinter, you're going to try to run out the box and eventually I'm going to pass you. It's the tortoise and the hare. Whoever does it the most consistently for the longest wins. Sprinters, they want to look good for their ego, their Instagram account, and they want to let everybody know how important they are today. But by doing that, you're going to date yourself in the long run and you're never going to make it. Which leads me to my next one, which correlates beautifully with this. If you truly do wholesaling at its fundamental core, you can't lose. How do I know this? Because if I understand risk assessment, how can I lose? If you're buying for present day value and not like speculating, you make money now. If you're putting it under contract and you have an inspection period and you can get out of it, if you say you did write a bad deal, which we all do, I do as well, we get out of it or we renegotiate it. So when people go on the internet and say, I got killed in wholesaling in 2021, 22, it means they weren't wholesaling. So believe them when they tell you it, they weren't wholesaling. They probably got skilled speculating, borrowing other people's money, doing all this stuff. A real wholesaler doesn't need to borrow money, doesn't need to do all these crazy fix and flips. Wholesalers are the key to getting the access to the best deals. So anyone who tells you they got killed in wholesaling means they're not wholesaling. So please believe them. And understanding if you're going to take advice from someone who said they got killed in wholesaling, you can't get killed in wholesaling. How? Explain it to me how you can get killed in wholesaling. The worst case scenario is you get out of the contract or you renegotiate. See, wholesaling is the art of putting a property under contract and selling your contract to a more interested party that wants to take it all the way down. And your real skill set is in finding, locating motivated sellers and connecting relationships with them to make the deals work. So I just think it's so funny when people, I got killed in wholesaling. No, you didn't. You didn't do wholesaling. You did speculating, fix and flip, and you came up with a ridiculous business plan that has nothing to do with wholesaling. If you focus on the fundamentals of wholesaling, you kill it in this business. End of story. You got to understand that. So next one, controversial. You want to know it or not? It's the truth. This one's going to hit you in the face. I'm sorry about it. Your feelings don't matter in wholesaling. I don't care what kind of feelings you resonate, how you got them from your family and stuff. Wholesaling doesn't care. It makes me feel, I'm just like, and when people tell me that, I'm like, so understanding your feelings are a recollection of your subconscious interpretation of past emotional triggers. And it's the way you interpret it. Wholesaling does not care about your feelings. When people start out on a live and they go, well, it makes me feel this way, I don't care. It's what you have to do to be successful. And if you can't get over it, then just get out of the business and call it a day. And as much as wholesaling gives you the advantage of it doesn't care about your background, your financial background, your educational background, your family's background, doesn't care what skin color you are, doesn't care what ethnic background you're from, it equally does not care about your feelings. I know this for a fact, and you got to just remove your feelings on how, and remember, and feelings is nothing more an interpretation of the emotions you experienced in the past. So if you know that, you get it. End of story. But your feelings are a very conscious choice. You can fix them anytime you want. Most of our problems is how we interpret stuff. It's not what actually happened to us. And if you understand that, it's easy to do. And last one, if you guys truly want to master anything in your life, this is my opinion. You can take it or not. I've done a lot of work over the last 5, 6 years in this space. And as I said, I spoke about Marcus Aurelius earlier. I'm telling you guys, if you want to do a simple study of Stoicism, it will help you so much in your wholesaling journey because it focuses on getting an end result and it deals with eliminating all the drama in your life. So Stoics is all about doing the hard stuff up front. It doesn't mean you don't care about others. It tells you need to bring more people along with you. So part of my journey with freewholesaling.com and doing the whole thing is about bringing more people, making them more successful, improving the success rate for wholesalers that get in training, and then doing deals and valuing relationships over transactions to do as many deals as possible. Stoic's always about doing the hard work, leaning into being uncomfortable. And honestly, if I had to give you one thing, and I could only give you one thing on this, I would tell you to go study Stoicism. Ryan Holiday's an excellent student of the original teachers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and it's really cool. And this is the same quote I get, whereas just be the man you want to be or be the woman you want to be and stop talking about it. End of story. If you understand that, we can do that. So let's jump in here. Let's help some people out. And let me just double check the questions. And I see some people have actually taken my advice on here. So I appreciate it. And awesome. So John says in here, my biggest issue is deciding. So we talked about making fast decisions. So here's one guide whenever you're picking a virtual market. Look at the data and stop taking your personal preferences. So unless you grew up in that area, or maybe you went to school or you have family there, that could weigh in on your decision value. But what I do is I just reverse engineer other people's egos, other wholesalers, and I just go where they're already having successes. So would you rather drill where a gold miner is already like just killing it in gold, or just do it randomly on your own? I like to cheat and use other people who can't keep their mouth shut to constantly brag about how good they are. But either way, even if you pick the wrong market, John, you'd rather find out early it didn't work and then go find the right one. But by not making a decision at all, it's like you're not going to get a result at all. So either way, we're never going to nail it perfectly. But when it comes to researching other markets, go over to freewholesaling.com. I'll teach you how to do like the whole thing easily. But listen, I've picked the wrong markets before too. Now, I much more rely on other people's data than my own. And if you know that up front, it's kind of easy. So, okay, let's see here. Let's jump on the lives. I got plenty of people waiting. I appreciate it, Keisha. I do appreciate all your comments. And the reason I do this channel, because I just love talking to you guys. And it's so busy on like Flip with Rick Plus. It's great. We built up an audience. I just thought we'd spin off this channel so you guys can get more of a personal touch. So let's see here. So I had some people jump off. Let me take some people I haven't talked to yet. Kevin, you there?
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
What's going on, man? What can I help you out with?
I got a call from a man today that does virtual in Kansas City. He wants to JV this deal with me. I've never done a JV deal before.
Okay. Where are you located?
I'm in Kansas City.
Oh, perfect.
I couldn't find the JV contract in freewholesaling.com. Do you know where it's located in there?
I tell you what, do me a favor. It's in there. I can't pull. I'm not a multitasker, and honestly,
Okay.
if I jump into there, I'm probably gonna like end the whole live stream like I ended the camera here earlier. Send me an email at support@flipwithrick and put Kevin M in caps, and I'll send you an attachment to it. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. And do I need to have the contract signed before I go out and look for buyers?
Yes, because you have to spell out the terms in it. And you also you want to know what you're at stake on. So the worst thing you can do is bring a JV partner, a buyer, then sign the agreement, because then you have no power. You have nothing. And I've been through this before. So have you guys agreed on like a structure on it?
Yeah, 50-50.
Correct. And are you marketing it exclusively?
we didn't go over that, and that was one of my questions.
Yeah. So one of the things that happens, because I get all of these people from Arizona, specifically Arizona, I don't know why, they all want me to sell their Port St. Lucie properties. And so here's the challenge is some of them treat you like real estate agents and some treat you like partners. I need to know up front, am I your partner or are you trying to pitch me as a real estate agent? How do I know they're trying to pitch me like a real estate agent? They want to give me 20, maybe 30% of the deal. And they want to take all their costs off of it, which they write in the contract. And then they tell you, if we find your own buyer, you're SOL, you're out of luck. Now,
Right.
here's the deal. We signed the agreement. So here's an ideal JV agreement. We signed the agreement. I marketly, mostly exclusively, I put all my energy into it. And then regardless, if the property's sold within 90 days, I think that's a reasonable time. The idea is to get it done in 30. Even if you sell it, I get part of the, I get, you can say if you sell it on your own, I get 40% as opposed to 50. Because I don't want to do all the work if you're going to like cut behind me. And it happens all the time. You can have a buyer come out of nowhere. Someone like might have a software where they snipe you on it. And that's it. Like I get people almost on a daily basis. I sell my deal, we'll give you 20%. Yeah, have a nice day. You're not getting access to any of my cash buyers for it. I'm not lifting a finger. And every one of them usually fail. And then I wind up like buying it on the back end. So just look for an agreement that makes sense for you because you have to protect your own interest. So I assume you're local in Kansas City?
Right.
I mean, can you sell deals there?
Yeah, I'm still kind of new at it, but I've got the confidence that I can find a buyer.
I think 50-50 deals is a fair deal and just put a 90-day term on it. It's kind of like getting a listing on it in a way. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like, what if he turns around and finds his own buyer and then you get it under contract at the same time? They're just going to cut you out.
Right.
And so you got to have like, hey, we are a JV means a joint venture. We're on this. We're married to it. You brought the deal. I have the local market expert, and just tell them what you're going to do to go above and beyond. You got to carry your end of the stick. But like, how much more committed are you if you know you're not going to get snaked in the background? It's a lot better. And the minute you think you're going to snake me, I'm not lifting my finger. Like, I'll just tie you up and like, we'll do this stuff all day long. And this is the problem. Nobody wants a partnership anymore. Everybody wants to dominate. And so just spell it out. And I just say, listen, what's the agreement? What are you proposing? And then tell them what you're going to do and then see. And if they do that, put it in writing, have them sign it. And then what they'll do is if you agree to it and they sign it, you give it to the title company in advance that you're going to use. So you're probably going to, so sometimes they want to use their title company or you can use your title company. You can argue that either way, but you need to know who is the coordinator for that, like the title company or the attorney. And the minute that agreement's signed, you put it in the attorney or the title company's hands so you know they can't go around you.
Okay.
Once you know that, like the minute they say, I don't know, like they're basically telling you they're going to screw you up front. And you're better off knowing it and I always tell you guys, get to the truth as soon as possible because that's how you get free in this business. Remember, you have no idea what they're capable of doing. They're going to tell you what they're going to do, but you have to watch what they do so that your only protection, because you're foreign to this, because you don't know them, is that written agreement and then giving it to the title company and or attorney. And that way it protects your interest. And once they start like wiggling on you, that's the partner you have. Believe them when they say it. They do this to me all the time. I mean, 20%, that's not even like realtor land. Like, don't do it. It's bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous. 50-50 is a deal. You brought the deal, I'll bring the buyer. Or sometimes they go like, oh, we'll give you $2,000. I'm like, and I go, no, I'll go find other deals. So does that make sense to you? You kind of know, have the verbal agreement and then put it in writing. And if they stall on you or they try to manipulate it, if they won't sign the agreement, it means they're going to do something deceptive behind your back 9 times out of 10. Period. End of story. That's it. And you can get it signed DocuSign. I mean, they can do it old school, scan it. Don't make it complicated and then give it to the title company or attorney. I find people that constantly like delay signing it or trying to manipulate it. I go, I don't think we're going to be a good mix. I don't want you working for free, Kevin, because this is what a lot of them do. They want to use you for your cash buyers list and not pay you. And somewhere ethics and training went way out the window. I blame it on a lot of these dispositions companies because that's how they operate. And I just get tired of it. So just make sure you have a signed agreement. You're protected up front before you lift one finger, and then go crazy. Remember, you have to do your end of the bargain too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You might have to put out some signs, some bandit signs, and you got to make phone calls, and you just got to get hyper aggressive.
Okay. Sounds
right?
good.
And then if you can't get it or the number's wrong, you also got to look at what they have it under contract for, right? Right?
Yep.
Because if it's overpriced, you're going to work your ass off and probably not going to get a reward for it. So make sure they share the numbers with you and make sure you underwrite it yourself to see if it makes sense. There's nothing worse than doing a JV deal partner and they expect you to pull a Hail Mary out of your butt. Like, here's the other thing I look for. I ask how long ago they put it under contract.
Okay.
Because if they put it under contract 30 days ago, odds are they probably couldn't sell it on their own and they're trying a Hail Mary with you to see if it's going to work. So do a little investigation about the person you're doing business with. Just make sure they're not popping up on it like don't do business with John Doe because of this. And there are blacklisted sites out there on Facebook, Instagram. And once somebody starts to screw one or two people, they usually start to pop up, and just heed the warning on it. But underwrite the deal first. Just tell them to share the basic numbers with you. And if they have it under contract, there's no problem sharing the address. Then explore the verbal agreement and then have them put it in writing and see if they'll sign it. That's it. And you do it in that exact order of process and it'll save you. So many people tie it. And I'm glad you brought this up because so many people dive into JV agreements and they don't understand what they're getting into. And then months go by, you work your ass off and then you don't get paid. You're better off sometimes serving just going directly to motivated sellers. But I've done plenty of JVs. But you don't want to be the Hail Mary guy. So if he gives it to you, he's already had it under contract like 32 days. I'm like, why are you giving it to me 32 days after? Odds are they're going to lie to you at this point. If you just put it under contract yesterday, I'm really excited about that. My best JV partners give it to me within 24 hours. So look at the date the contract signed. It's going to tell you a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
What was your email address again?
Support@flipwithrick.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Good luck. Make sure you do it in the order I told you. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck, Kevin. See you. Okay. Let's see here. Julio, what's going on?
Like the respirator, just like so it can breathe.
Hey, Julio, I see you.
Yeah.
See, this is the art of not paying attention. Julio. So Julio, I brought you on here. Julio.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hello, I'm doing good. I'm over here with my friend actually.
I see you on your phone, man. What's up, man? What can I help you out with? Julio, you froze. Okay, Julio, I'm going to come back to you. Just kind of refresh or jump back in. You're frozen. Brady, what's up?
Hey, man. So I've been reverse driving for dollars probates. What would you say is the best sticky note script? Just the typical one?
Yeah,
or would you
but like
take a different approach?
with them. Like, my standard one I used for the longest time is I just got a quick question. Sometimes I put about your house, sometimes just a quick question. I put Rick and my virtual phone number. Remember, the whole goal of it is to create curiosity. That's it.
Okay.
I don't want you to give them an illegal bribe. But if you write on there, hey, I'm looking to buy your house, no one's ever going to call you. Like they just don't call on that. I've tried it. So you can get creative. Just don't do anything illegal. I've done, so here's a stretch stuff I've done. Hey, I've got something for you. Give me a call.
Okay.
You spend a lot more energy on winding that statement. So just find something that triggers them to call you that's not going to get you chewed out. And that's all you got to do. And I usually just come up with one or two variations and I stick with it. The challenge is if you I don't do a lot of multiple reverse driving for dollar stickies, meaning you don't just keep, it's not like direct mail where you just keep hitting the same address over and over. It doesn't work. Like once you do the note once, the second time they already know what you're doing, it won't work. So you only really need to come up with one line. And remember, if you believe in it and it makes sense and people are calling you back, it works. The worst thing you can do is trick people saying, I've got money for you, or this is your last chance.
Okay.
You can actually get in like real trouble with that stuff. So anything that evokes curiosity, and curiosity is like a statement. It's a half question, but you don't give them the result without calling a phone number. That's what any good marketer does. And that's all you need to do with it. That's all you
Okay.
need to do when you write those notes.
Okay. Would you say
Don't
that?
do anything like too crazy. I already given you the basics of it, but like you can get, I like when you guys mix it up. We all can't be doing the exact same thing out there. We look like robots.
Right. Well, do you think, hey, this is Brady, just had a quick question about your property. Please give me a call back. Is that a good one for probates?
Yeah, you can put Brady on like the end of it. So probates, I don't want you doing sticky notes. They don't work. Remember, the person's dead. Like so.
Well, yeah, but the person, people check up on the property though.
They do, but they don't like it, and that's my experience. Maybe you can prove me wrong. So if you want to go that route, you could just stick a package at the door. I'm not going to tell you how to get it, but there's a certain government agency that has an entire shelf full of these packets that you can pick them up ahead of time and pre-fill out. If you bring them back there or not, that's your choice. You could just put a letter in there. And by the way, I share my letter with you over at freewholesaling.com. And it's just a little bit more formal and they take you a little bit more seriously. Remember, probate is a formal process and people want to like feel like everything's legitimate. So
Right.
they don't really respond well to stickers on the door. The other way you can do is just, you can stick a letter in the mailbox if you don't want to mail it and pay the postage, although you're not technically supposed to do it because it's U.S. government property. But you can take that same letter and put on the front of it, attention to the estate of John Doe, and put the exact same letter in there. So different ways to do it. The only one to reverse driving for dollars, you really, you don't want to do that. Probates or evictions on them because it doesn't get to the right people 9 times out of 10.
Okay. Well, here's my problem. Direct mail for probates is super competitive in my market. Like I've talked to people that are in probate in my market and they're getting constant letters. So it's like, I'm trying to switch it up on them and like do a sticky note. And also I don't want to do mail right now.
Well, you know why they get them, right?
Because they're in probate.
Because they work. I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, like trust me, I get so many deals off letters. It's ridiculous. But so if you want to be ultra competitive and beat your competition, just cold call them.
I know that too, though. Like they're getting killed with calls. Like they don't even answer.
Okay. Well, so we mail and we cold call. And by the way, I didn't cold call for the longest time until I brought Zach into my business. He's like, you're leaving money on the table. I'm like, it's a little sharky. He's like, nah, he goes, but if you help somebody out, what does it matter? So listen, at the end of the day, so let me ask you, do you know what do you understand how I teach probates and like how I pretty much kick everyone's butt in it? Do you understand what my unique selling proposition is, everybody in probates?
No.
So how long have you followed me for?
Like 11 months. I just got my 4th deal that I closed.
Awesome. So at some time when you want, check it out at Flip with Rick Plus, but I teach this in grave detail there. And there's a reason why it has to be in Flip with Rick Plus, because when I was younger, I sold a product to someone, which I won't mention names on here. And I got paid, but like they sold it to the world. And it got so ridiculous. People were coming to me for like billing questions. I go, dude, I don't sell the product. So it's what we white label something and we sell it to like, so at the time a company bought it from me. I massively regret my decisions. One of the reasons I'm not a coach today, because people are they don't do exactly what they say. I had to wait 7 years till I could get the rights back to it. Now, part of the agreement is I could not sell the product. So it's probably the most brilliant product I ever created. It's known as PPS. Don't go on the internet and buy it because it's duplicated everywhere, and a lot of them are scams. So I can't control it. So the only way I can control it is I put it inside of Flip with Rick Plus. That way I know everybody who wants access to it, the correct people get it.
Okay.
I get 7 emails a day on how they got scammed on PPS. I go, I sold it to a company. I regret it. They don't follow up on customer service billing or anything. And they never let me update the product. So I've recently updated the whole thing. But here's what I do. I have a unique selling proposition where I teach executors and PRs. I teach them a trick on how I can solve your biggest problem in probates. You know what the number one complaint we get on probates other than get me off your list is?
What's that?
Can you buy the property right now? What's our answer to that? Do I have to wait till the probate process is complete?
No.
How do you do that?
You file a motion with the judge, have them file a motion with the judge.
So what's my unique selling proposition to these people? And you should be incorporating this into your marketing.
Quick cash sale.
No, that's a lie. So how do I present it? I go, listen, Brady, like, I love it. I'd like to get this done right now. My lawyer told me I had to wait. I've met with 2 realtors and 1 other investor. They told me I have to wait till the probate's over. Unless you can solve that problem, I think we're done with this conversation. Dude, this is golden candy for you.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to teach it to you right now. You guys can go back to the recording. I'm doing this 100% for free, okay? Because I want to help you.
Thank you.
What if I could show you how you can sell the probate before the probate process is complete? Is that something you're interested in working with me? I'll cut you through the red tape. There is a path to done it. I've done it countless times. I would love to share that with you. Can we talk? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how about I come over tomorrow, or we meet in 2 days on the phone if it's virtual, and you just walk them through it. You have to frame it correctly because everybody else is telling them the exact opposite. I've already proven to you, I've done over almost close to 300 probate transactions. I have a long track record. So you can tell me there are a few exceptions. There's some places it's not as easy as it sounds, but for the most part, you can do it. You see, you can liquidate that asset because the court allows for it because they know a real estate's a big chunk of the estate and they know there's carrying costs associated with it. Some probates can drag on 2 years. Who wants to make mortgage payments, insurance payments, utilities, mow the lawn, shovel the snow? So this is already built in. The lawyers will never share it with you because they want to bill the crap out of people. And I'm the one who says, hey, what if I could show you how you could sell this property before the probate process is complete and completely cut through the red tape? Is that something that would interest you? 9 times out of 10, they all just go, show me how. Okay, well, I just need to make sure you're going to work with me. You know, if you could do that, I think we could work something out. And then I just start exploring, going through my regular qualifying them. And I use it as curiosity to get their interest so I can set an appointment. Okay. And then at that point, I want to separate myself from every other investor. And all your marketing should be centered around that because everyone just wants to buy the property and they ignore the probate process. And if you wait till the end, you're going to get killed. That means you got to pay the most. So now, not everybody wants to do it that way. As long as I can write a contract. You also know that the PR has the full ability, just like the deceased person, to enter into a contract to sell that property. If they want to enter into a binding contract and they're authorized, that's just as good too. It just takes you a little bit more time. Okay. So use that piece. I'm telling you, it's dynamite. And if you want some more sophisticated, like higher level training that I can spend a lot of time, I do it through Flip with Rick Plus. Listen, I make everything free for everyone, but I got put in a pinch by a guru by this product, and I have to honor my agreement because I've been sued multiple times over this, and I don't want to do it. So my lawyer says, just give it away for free inside of Flip with Rick Plus. And that's what I do. So it's, and then I do training once a week on it. And I have people that have some very massive probate operations. So if you're interested, check it out there. It's not a requirement. I already kind of gave you the secret, but just use that. You got to have a unique selling proposition because you're just like every other wholesaler, every other realtor. And if you understand that, you can incorporate that in your cold calling and your letters and when you get them on an appointment on the phone. So can you do that?
Yes.
It'll work phenomenal for you, man. That's good
Okay.
stuff. Okay, man. I appreciate you, Brady. Thank you.
Yeah. That,
Okay, bud.
all right.
I'll see you. So guys, to sum it up, use the 21 cheat codes I gave for you today. I shared a lot of stuff online here for you. Listen, I got Flip with Rick rolling across the bottom. The reason is we have a live event coming up October 23rd, 24th. If you want to interact with me and Zach in person, we are going to be in Orlando. Actually, we're going to be there all week. We're going to set up meetups. We do lives. We do Flip with Rick there. I'll probably do one from the Rick Ginn YouTube show you're on now. And if you want to work, what we want to do is work with people with Flip with Rick Plus, because those are the only people that go. Why? Because I got to teach you wholesaling. I want to teach you to be a marathon wholesaler. I do not teach this in a month or two. Let the gurus take your money for that. If you really want to learn wholesaling, you've got to do the work. You're going to have homework. We meet up 4 times a week. I push you to the limit. We set a marketing plan for you, and I tell you the truth. I tell you the stuff that always doesn't make you happy, but it's the truth, and it's what makes you effective. It is the stoicism of wholesaling, and if you want to learn how to do that, you get me, and you also get my son, which is really, really good at this stuff. And I know he connects with a lot of you younger folks, but I also have the wisdom to go with it. And for 2 full days, we give you everything we got. We don't do boat rides. I'm not going on like the Magic Kingdom ride. I'm going to teach you the ride of wholesaling, and you're going to hold on for your life, and you can knock it out of the park. So we have a good time there. And by the way, if you give us a deal and we JV together, you get in there for free. And if you want to just skip the line and you don't want to like split it, I believe it's $99 a month. You can't go wrong with it. Put it up against any guru's course. I promise you it crushes it. If you don't believe me, check it out. I make the damn thing a 7-day free trial period. You can jump on a live with me. If you don't think you got value from it, just hit the cancel button, move on. I'm not here looking to steal your money. I make money wholesaling. I don't do it off coaching. The reason I do this, it does cost me money to support all these programs. And by the way, free wholesaling costs a ton of money to support the 100,000 plus users that do it. We offset it with affiliate sales. I'm not like an affiliate junkie. I just believe in certain companies, Deal Machines, amazing, PropStream, Batch, all that stuff. And I'm never aligned with one company because I am a wholesaler. Whatever helps you guys out, I'm all about helping you guys. So make sure you join us on there. That'll be October 23rd and 24th. And if you join today, you'll be on our meeting tomorrow. So if you want to connect with us, that's a great way to do it. And as usual, if you got value from the show, make sure you smash that like button. And for God's sakes, the ultimate compliment you give to me is hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and more people can find the truth about wholesaling. Make sure you check us out. We'll be on tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the Flip with Rick Plus. And I think that's it, guys. So have a good one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you guys in October at our live event, the Escape the Matrix. It's freaking awesome. And if your question go, hey, how's that live event? If you go on our YouTube channel, we segmented it out and you can see the entire thing in full. So you know exactly what you're getting into. So guys, I want to help you guys become better wholesalers so we can do deals together. If you want to actually learn how to do wholesaling and cut through all the guru crap, just go straight over there, Flip with Rick Plus, and I'll meet you over there. And as usual, we'll be on tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time on Flip with Rick. I'll see you guys then. See you.